Hey everyone, how you doing today? It is Monday night, which means we get to do a draft. I'm actually kind of looking forward to this. I spent a good part of the weekend just drafting War of the Spark because it had been a while. So this will be the first throne draft I've done in a little bit. So hopefully I don't remember the War of the Spark cards over the throne draft. But this should be fun. I do like this format. I think I might actually like it a little bit more than War of the Spark overall, but it is fun. So let's see what we get. We haven't had a whole lot of luck opening sick rares, but that is a pretty sick rare. So, I mean, obviously, Baked into Pie is awesome. Black White Knights with this guy is really good. Um, always like some fixing, but this card is just so good. Um, so yeah, we're gonna try to build around this and see if we can do it because it'll be really fun. Like just even going, this is like the perfect like mono green type card, but even green black works really well. So let's see what we can do. I may try to force this one because this card's just busted. All right, well, in green we've got this guy which doesn't boost power super well, which is what you need for the henge. But I mean, even if, I mean, worst case scenario, you're casting this with a 3 power creature on the board, it's still a 6 drop, which isn't stupid. Um, so this guy is really good. Only if you're in green white, though. I'm really hesitant to run it in a green X or a white X deck. This is really great in the food type sacrifice deck. Uh, but like I said a little bit ago, I think I'm going to force the Great Henge. This card is good in and of itself. I don't mind playing it. This pack has some decent cards no matter what archetype you're looking for. This guy is a beast, even if you're not in knights but in white. Um, so yeah, but I think I'm gonna keep pushing the henge thing. See if we can make it work. Uh, this is a little bit of a weaker pack. Reef Soul is really good as a removal spell. I'm not a super big fan of this card in blue. Um, if you're playing the blue white artifact enchantment deck, this guy is good. Uh, but yeah, Turnveil is the Tuinveil is the card to take to push henge, but you're gonna see a lot of these guys. Walker White, yeah. Like I said, I'm pushing the henge. I'm just gonna have. I think the card's so good for me. So the question now is, do I take the Tree Folk, stick green, or I think I probably am gonna take Reeve Soul, uh, because it's just a good removal spell. Um, we're not stuck into green black. Um, we can always splash. Like I said, we'll see other tree folk, so I'm not super worried about that. So we'll go there. All right. Nothing I really want to see in this pack. Um, this is great in the blue-red deck. He's fine. I always like it didn't say please. We're not in knights right now. I think I'm going to take the egg. It's not a bad card. It lets us, draws when it enters. So if it worse, it cycles. It gives us some flexibility if we want to do something crazy. So see, another tree folk. I have long espoused my love for Flutterfox. But in this case, I think I'm gonna take the tree folk. That being said, I want to think for a second about the spider because this little buddy does some serious work. That 5 butt and having reach shuts down so much of this format, and sometimes just having this on the field just completely stalls the board, which is kind of makes them valuable right now. And see, the issue is the tree folk is going to hit at 6, and hopefully at that point we already have the henge out. But it does give us something to do with our mana with the henge. Since we've already seen a tree folk, like I said, the spider just shuts everything down, so I'm going to take that for now. Nothing in any other color that's pulling me one way direction or another. I mean, the Witching Well is good. It's a good blue card. Completely serviceable. It's a bear that hopefully gets better. If we're mono green or close to it, this guy's decent, but we don't know that yet. So I'm just going to take the safer pick. It's hard to say that blue is open, but these are all decent blue cards. Let's go with... We know we're playing green. We'll take the cabin for now. Of these cards... So Tiny can do some decent work. Even if you're not milling, they'll eventually have 7 cards. Ginger Brute can help. I've lost a little bit of love for this card over the format. Originally, I loved it a lot. Now, meh. And not a huge fan of the wolf. There's also something to be said for the drawbridge to be able to turn your creatures into super hasters. But I'm going to diversify my threats. Take a So Tiny just in case we end up in blue. Take a pair. There's a tiny chance we can end up in some kind of food deck. So I'll take that guy for now. And right now we have, especially if we make food, this guy's even better. So we'll take him. Not a huge fan of Tall as a Beanstalk. So this is kind of a weird draft so far. We're not stuck in any one color. Ooh, okay. So this is actually interesting. So the Gargoyle is really, really good in the deck that does any kind of milling. I mean, at worst, he's a 5/4 that eventually helps mill so that you can attack. So he's really good. Then you have Sir Conrad, which is just a bomb. And Reef Soul is a removal spell. If we're doing the food with the excuse me, with the broom, the Appetite's good. But I just think the most powerful card... What's best is Sir Conrad with the Gargoyle. That's ridiculous. But unfortunately, we're playing draft and not sealed. So... See, Gargoyle also really turns the henge on even faster. I mean... Because it could make it a 4-drop. Play this on turn 2, play the henge on 4. GG. So this is actually really tough. I think Conrad, overall, is a more powerful card. The ability on it is ridiculous. And they have to remove it. Wow, this is actually really tough. I'm going to go with Conrad only because I prefer Reef Soul over So Tiny. And I'm not 100% sure this is the correct pick. Especially since... maybe it's not. This one's tough. Because Gargoyle's just 2. It's just a blue. We have an egg, so we can always splash if we need to. We can't splash Conrad. Glad this isn't a real draft. I'd be holding everybody up just trying to think through this. Man, I don't actually know. Alright. It's a rare. Let's play with it. Hopefully we don't get super punished. So there's another Reef Soul. So that would have been great if we took Conrad. And it still may be the right choice, just in case. We're not locked in to blue because of this guy. I don't think it's worth taking the... Well, if we go into Sorcerer's Broom, Curious Pair is good, but I think Reef Soul is just better. Okay, so we got a couple good green cards. We don't have to stress over our other color yet. The Witch Stalker is slightly better for the henge, but I think the adversary is better overall, so we're going to go with that card. Yeah, I don't see any black or blue at all in here, so this isn't great for us. The best card in the pack is the Pathlighter. Although we only have one? Yeah, we only have one creature right now with an adventure on it. So I'll take the Rider. Again, he's good with the broom. Alright, so there's a spider there. I didn't say please and a Queen of Ice. I like both. I'm going to take the didn't say please simply because of the gargoyle. Push us in that direction a little bit more. How's our curve looking? Okay, we only have one 5-drop. The Cauldron's really good. If we're in blue, the Scavengers are really good as well. But I'm going to take the Paladin. We'll take the Acolyte so we have options to splash if we need to. Look, a spider. It's almost tempting to take this guy simply because we already have quite a few enchantments, but I think actually the spider just gums up the board nice for us. Take our Ginger Brute just in case we need something. Right now we're a little wonky. Guys to fill out the curve if we need it. All the spiders. I don't know that I want to play 3 though, so I'll put that over there. Alright, so we are green with 3 blue cards and 2 black cards. We have 3 adventures. The Innkeeper in the adventure deck is awesome. We don't have red, but we can always splash it. If we play green-black, this guy's fine. We don't really have any life gain, except for if we sack the foods. And having one of this guy isn't a bad idea. I mean, at some point we may make the choice of just going mono green if we don't find anything else better in black or blue. Just because it makes our mana super easy and can play something like the Hengewalker. So the real question for me is, do I think we're going to find more adventure cards? Or can we prioritize adventure cards? Or do I want just a trick to swing in for 4 unexpectedly? Since we're not 100% black yet, and I think we can prioritize adventure cards, I'm going to take him. So here's that conversation. Sir Conrad, man, I kind of wish I'd taken him over the gargoyle. That may have been the right choice. Anyways, too late. So the question is prioritizing. I think we're going to prioritize the adventure card versus a very fine couple of blue options here. But let's just go all in on that. So we can make more food. Can pump our creatures. Which this again makes the henge better. We don't have one yet. We already have 2 of those guys, so I don't feel like we need another one. There's another broom if we wanted to go really all in, but I'm not that set yet. So let's just put a pump creature in. Yeah, I'm not super sold on any of this, so we'll just take a Curious Pair, and because we're looking for adventures. So let's take a quick look at our... Probably not playing this card. Those are maybe fine. Maybe. So we're currently at 24 cards. So do we want 3 Reef Soul to play black? I don't think so. let's just take out, we'll keep an eye out for black or blue cards that swing us. But we're sitting at 19 cards right now, just mono green. So if that's the case, the Squire's pretty good because we now have 3, 4. Is that really it? 5? Mm-hmm. We do have a ton of 2-drops. So let's think. How do we win this game? Right now, we're gumming up the board nice and early. We've got the spiders. We've got the curious pears. We'll be making food, which leads me to think that we might end up playing blue simply to get the 5/4 flyer in. We don't have a lot of removal, which is not good, unless we play black for the Reef Souls. But even that's not great. And we're just going to put... Does this... That's a token. That doesn't work. Let's take the guy that gets a little bit bigger. I'm almost tempted just to jump into white, but it's way too late now. This is a removal spell. We're going to need it. Alright, so I'm going to take this over another spider just as we need to have a conversation about if we're actually playing green and or black. Like, this leads me to think that we're going to play black over just mono green. I've got another broom. I've never actually built the broom deck. I've played against it and been overrun by brooms. So we can take a try and see how this actually works. Alright, so I think we need to look at putting black in. Because otherwise we have no removal, and that's not good. We already have 2 spiders, and I'll leave that one out. And I don't think we need 1 or 2 drops. So we need to cut 5 cards. They're probably coming from the 2-drop spot. Simply based on what we have here. We don't really need the egg. I mean, it does cycle and it does create a food. Allows us to sacrifice something. So does the witch. So shambling suit can get a little crazy, but we don't have any way to like lift him up. Give him trample, which is vaguely frustrating. We do have the carver, which can give him a 5 butt, so that's important. Since we're not really a black deck, I think I'm going to cut... but that's really good with all the food we're making. We're never going to hit the food on that, and we need to cut somewhere. So we'll start there. I'm going to cut the Henge Walker. At best, it can be a 3/3. It doesn't do much. Gives us some mana ramp. Alright. I don't mind running one of these main deck, but it can be dead against some decks. Like, it would do literal 0 against us. So I'm going to remove it. Normally, like I said, especially because these are best of ones, I don't mind running a one-off like that, especially if I'm light on playables, which this deck kind of is. I'm not super happy with this deck. I'm not sure if we could have looked for maybe more black or blue. Like, I think this deck would be better if we had Sir Conrad or 2 Sir Conrads versus the rare, but my default is if I haven't played much with a rare, I'm not sure how powerful it is. I like to take it to try to, you know, get a feel for it. So when it actually, not that these don't matter, but when it actually matters at like a GP or something, I have a better kind of analysis. I've played with it. I've seen it. The only times I've actually played with this card have been in a more of a mill type deck, which makes sense. So, all right. So we need to cut at least 1 more. It has to be a 2-drop. If we're gonna go, we've got 3, 4, 5 possible triggers for the innkeeper, which really is pretty low. However, I have noticed that people will spend removal spell on the innkeeper because he's scary good, which is good for us. But that makes this 2-drop worse, especially since most of our guys that will trigger this are 2-drops as well. So I'm going to cut there. I'm also going to do something stupid and just run 16 lands. The vast majority of our deck is at 2. We have a 3-drop ramp, and then eventually we can cast this. So I might be getting mana screwed here quite a bit, but I'm okay with that in some ways. Not when I'm completing in an hour, just remind me that I said this. So let's look. I only have 2, 3. I only have 4. So I'm going to go down just to 5 swamps, which I think is enough. And we'll put this pretty forest in, knowing that this should possibly be a swamp. So if we get screwed, we'll know why. But again, we have the egg, we have the acolyte, and I mean, realistically, 5 is probably more than fine. So let's go back for a second and look at anything we're not playing. I mean, there's even an argument to be said to splash the gargoyle and try it because we have the egg and the acolyte, but I don't think it's worth it to screw with our mana that much. So overall, I think this deck is fine. I'd give it like a C- versus the decks I've kind of drafted before. Again, I've never actually played the broom deck, and I don't think this deck is set up great for it. There are some different interactions, but we'll see. Maybe I'm completely wrong and this deck runs really well. But like I said, I'm really worried that we're missing some high quality, like Baked in the Pie. I still think the Henge is the right pick over Baked in the Pie, but we could really use some removal. Could really use some Sir Conrads. But we'll see. I hope that we get the broom to kind of go off at least once, because that'd be really nifty. Oops. Alright, so 2 drops, lands, and we get to go first. It's a little concerning because we have a 5 and a 6 drop with 3 lands, but our opponent mulliganed. We're going to make some food. Like I said, this deck I think is going to dirtle a lot more than I'm comfortable with, which has me a little bit worried. Alright. We are not going to Reeve Soul that Ginger Brute just yet. I have cast Reeve Soul on more than one Ginger Brute. But right now, if he wastes his... Well... So he didn't activate it, which means he might have a pump spell. But I'm completely okay with pulling a pump spell out. Yeah, that's fine. Really wish we had 3 or 4 drop. But I'm not going to worry about it yet. I'm not going to cast the Reeve Soul, because if anything, I want to use it on the Carver. Ooh, fun. They must have just drawn that. Otherwise, they should have cast it before the Carver. Alright, they got a forest. While I have free mana, I could sack my food, but since we have the broom and other interactions, I'm not going to bother. And there's no reason to do the adventure, so we'll just do that. Now, if they attack... Okay, well, now I'll block. I'm going to say, originally, if they attacked before casting, I probably wouldn't have blocked, just because I want to make sure I can cast my 5 or 6 drop next turn. So there's a chance that maybe they could have bluffed some extra damage, but maybe they're really concerned about losing those creatures. With their current board state, while it's not 100% mana efficient, I'm going to cast this, because if they play the Carver next turn, I can, I almost said delete it, I can Reeve Soul it, and then this guy is punching through for 5, and that's really good. And right now, they just have a bunch of low drops. Yeah, I'm going to attack. See if they block or not. I probably should have attacked before, but... So now we have to be worried about them having hunger. So once again, I'm not going to block, because that's a big thing. Okay, so I play the Carver, hoping to block the Paladin. Yep, 1 point of damage. So depending what we draw here. Okay, so I'm gonna Reeve Soul on the Carver. Attack with both my guys. Because at this point we're obviously winning this race. And then play the Innkeeper. Now we know we've already seen, what, 2 of our 6 things that trigger it. So if he plays something crazy that we need to block, I don't necessarily mind throwing it in front of it. Ah, so the skewer is going to go on something. 2. That does not count as a big thing to block, so that guy's going to get in. And this costs 3 to equip? Yeah. So, hopefully he equips it to the Ginger Brute. No. That's fine. Probably should have done that before combat to get some extra damage in. Alright, so let's think through. So they're at 9. They can't block this. So I am going to attack with both. We'll offer the trade with the Innkeeper. The Innkeeper's more powerful than the Ginger Brute, so hopefully they'll block. But what that means is I'm actually going to just pass my turn, because they have a 2/2 that can't block the Paladin. I have 4 cards in my graveyard, so if I play something 4 or greater... Yep, go ahead. Because ideally I want to... Sure. If they don't have anything else here, we just win the game. We shall see. Okay, so they're not dead because they can gain life. Yep. They're definitely not in a healthy spot, though. So we're going to play this, play our next big guy out, see what our next few turns are. Ooh, get rid of those. So even if they equip, they're going to gain 4, go up to 6. Yeah, they were still... I mean, they were alive. But anyways, so that worked out. Better than expected. Awesome. I don't think every game will be that smooth. I think we got kind of lucky there. But no complaints. I had a weekend of really bad luck, so maybe I'm getting some of that karma back. We'll see. That would be nice. Ooh, this is a terrible hand. Yeah, no, we're definitely mulliganing this. Okay, we'll keep this one. So I think we want to keep all 3 lands. As I'm gonna throw back the egg. It's just a cycler, and I want to keep the removal spell. This gets us up to 4 and gums up the ground nice. So we're gonna do that. Oh boy, blue gonna merfolk secret keeper me. Yep. That's the other reason I kind of switched a little bit to War of the Spark, because I just got so bored of 0/4s all over. So yeah, I needed a break from that. But it's a completely viable strategy. In Arena, I think it's a little bit easier than it is in real life. But yeah. Plus, War of the Spark was kind of fun to go back and there's so many crazy planeswalkers and nutty things you could do. One of the draft decks I did was just insane. It had Vraska, Liliana, and Vivian, and it was just like, it was such a fun deck to play. But that kind of stuff doesn't normally happen, so that's okay. Alright, so we just have all of the pairs. They don't do anything right now. So I'm just going to run this guy out, advance our board state, so that if we draw something crazy like the henge, we can play it. Now that they have counter magic up, that's not good for us. So much Gingerbrute damage. Alright. So we've got a big old nothing going on here. Play up the swamp. So we've got 4 mana. 5 if we do that. But what I think I'm going to do is just actually attack. It's not much. Yep. We're going to play the slow game here. Nope. Create a food. Play this guy. And then create another food. So yeah, not super exciting, unfortunately. I have a feeling this game may be vaguely painful. And that it's just going to take a long time and be kind of grindy. Because we have no real threats. We took 3. I mean, the Secret Keeper just makes the festival better. Festive, I guess. Alright, I think we just still attack in. And then we can play both a Curious Pair and Spider. We don't need to keep the festive funeral up for anything in particular right now. This is going to be a long game if we're just hitting for 2 a turn. And they're hitting for 1 with the Brute. Ugh. Well, I'm the first one to complain about big, bomby, crazy stuff. I prefer that over this. It was just kind of poke, poke, poke. That's it. That's kind of where we're at right now. Ooh, now they're getting fancy. Gosh. Okay, we need anything other than a land. Alright, we're gonna attack. Leave back the 1/5. It just basically stops the squire from attacking. And we don't really have anything else to do with our turn. We'll just keep Funeral up in case they play something crazy. I mean, blue-white has a lot of possible scary things. I mean, theoretically, we need to think about... They can have the giant wipe the board. In this case, they're probably slightly better off than we are. I don't think it's worth casting Funeral on the Ginger Brute. Right now we're doing 1 more point of damage a turn than they are. And by 1, I mean we're doing 3 points and they're doing 2. So it's going to be a while, folks. 7 more turns. Oh, getting fancy. Wow, is this pathetic? Do we actually kill the squire because it shuts down our board? This is really depressing. We've got what, 4? Sure. I'm not sure this is right. They have enough bounce spells and counter spells, it could be wrong. But with us just drawing lands, oh, this should be a swamp. Doesn't actually matter. And I'm not going to leave a blocker back to force them to pay 1. That seems kind of bad. Sure. Okay, now I could use my Reeve Soul. One of them. Because that Ardent Veil Tactician, excuse me, with the mantle on it will get annoying. Sure. Worst case scenario, we can start sacking the food. We're a ways off from that, especially considering at some point we could possibly draw the broom. But that's one reason I played my land, is because at some point we may want all of the lands. Oh, 2 Ginger Brutes, sure. Yeah, we're not doing anything this turn. Come on in. Wow. They didn't need to do that. I don't have any blockers, and if they hadn't done that, they could have cast the Arden Veil. I mean, at worst case scenario, if you're afraid of me untapping my guys, you just swing in first. When I do something, you then activate that unblockable thing. I think they would have been much better off to force the board state. Ah, see, here we go. So we can resolve this. Next. So this could be interesting. This is where the broom may come in handy. There may have been an argument for doing this on our turn when they were tapped out, in case they have something crazy like a bounce spell or whatever, but the trigger's still going to go off. Sure. You can't name colorless, so that's it's not great for them right now. White. So that'll make that a 3/3, which definitely turns up the clock. But this is why it would have been so much better So if this guy was on the board, he'd be a 3/3. He'd be hitting for 6 this turn. That completely changes the game. As of right now, he's going to activate that. That's fine, but they're much further behind than if they had been able to play this last turn. It definitely makes my attacking worse. Sacrifice a food. Make a buddy. So, I would like to pay 3, please. Go ahead and auto pay. Ooh, fun. So, we're already going to get 2 triggers. So we have 8 mana. So this takes 2. So that takes 8 already to hit both triggers and sack a food. That takes us to 13. So 3, 4, 5, 6. We're not dead. So we're not going to attack this turn because we're just going to lose guys. We have the spider that can block. We're just going to pass. Because their best move probably... I mean, that still just makes him a 4/4. I don't know. I feel like they're in a bad spot. They can sack their own ginger brutes to gain some life too. And nothing to get back. Ouch. I think right now we win this game. It's just going to take a turn or two. Sure. You got it, dude. One more? Ooh, that's getting greedy. If they attack with both, we're going to have to do some math, because there's a chance we might be able to just win. Because once these guys tap, they can't be sacrificed to gain 3 life. If they're untapped, we have to do some math. Nope. We are at 10. That doesn't kill us. Because we're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. We're going to have 10 on board that they can't. Let's see. Resolve. Do math in a second. 2, 4. I can block those 2. So then we have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're 1 short. Balls. Sacrifice food. Resolve. Auto pay. Resolve. Auto pay. All right. I think here we attack all in. We'll leave the spider back because they're going to block 2, right? So that's 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We don't want to... I guess we don't need to leave. The spider just stops 3 in the air, which is super helpful. I don't think 1 changes it that much. Actually, yeah. So let's do... We're going to send the spider in. Because this guy stays back. It can't do anything. And 1 point may end up coming to bite me in the butt if I don't take it now. So we're going to do it. Let them kill who they want to kill. Because we just have more. We have more coming. Off by 1. All right. Unfortunately, now they can leave the ginger brutes open and gain some life off that, which makes it even more confusing. Yep. There's also something to be said for doing that on your turn to be able to, because they could use them as a blocker, unless they have, I was gonna say unless they have a board wipe, but they just tap their. No, this is white, so they could have the giant that board wipes, which would be annoying. If they do, they should attack with both here. Nope. All right. Well, we're gonna sacrifice the food. Oh, well, hi, buddy. Uh, we only have a 2-power guy. But still really good. So let's attack in with everybody but this guy. According to my math, I think they're dead. 2, 4, 6. I think so, but there could be shenanigans. There we go. So the broom works. The henge didn't do anything. It would have just gained some life and some mana if we needed it. Just got there with the brooms. Alright, climbing out of bronze. Starting a fresh season here. It's going to be a little hard just drafting once a week to get too high in the ranks, but we'll see what we can do. I have to do the math to figure out, based on the average win percentage, where we'll end up, but we'll see. All right. While we don't have any adventure guys, having the Innkeeper into Reeve Soul into Tempting Witch is in and of itself good enough to keep this. 1, 2, 3 can't go wrong. So, yeah, more Secret Keepers. Yeah, we're kind of okay with that. And the only thing that I'm sad they got the Carver, but other than that, meh. Oh boy. Okay, now I'm sad. Secret Keepers everywhere. I'm not going to waste a removal spell on this guy. It's not worth it. We know they have a second one. So we already have to go wide to get further than we want to be. This, again, may be a grindy match. Now, the last time it ended up in our favor, but we'll see. The Secret Keeper us again. Oh, gosh. Alright. Okay. This is gonna be... Ugh. Okay. Play this guy into the Witch. At least the Adversary is decent against the 0/4s. The fact that it has Death Touch makes them less likely to block. It's a slow roll. Oh my gosh. Oh, there goes one of our brooms and our second paladin. So bets on how many Secret Keepers this person actually has. We are down to 13 cards in our deck. 1 broom gone. 2 paladins gone. So this isn't great for us. We're going to attack with everybody. Make them scared. This guy's going to draw us a card when he does damage. Okay, that's good. Now they have all the counterspell magic up, which means we're very likely to see... I didn't say pleased. Didn't say please. Which is why I'm actually gonna... I kind of want the curious pair to resolve more than the rider. If they don't have a counterspell, this is less advantageous for us because we don't get to play pair into pair. You know what I mean. But I'd rather threaten this. Okay. I still think they have a counterspell. And the food token's worth it with the Tempting Witch on the field. Okay. What's going to really stink is if they have, what is it, Run Away with Us? Or the Bounce spell. Because I start bouncing the Secret Keepers. That's going to be sad panda time. Alright. Well, let's attack all in. Actually, not with the witch. Because she's going to do more damage by tapping for things. Tapping 3. We need to start swinging in. And eventually we can play the Appetite and kill one of the Secret Keepers. But again, I'm worried about bounce spells and stuff. So let's play a pair. Hopefully draw a card off the Innkeep. Well, draw a card off the Innkeeper. Ooh, got a henge here. Play the cabin. I would like the food off of it, but I'd rather just keep my mana going. I wonder if they're 2 colors. Because they're not doing anything, and they came out swinging pretty hard. And they haven't played another land yet. So that makes me curious. Oops. I'm going to keep doing what I was doing. I'm still worried about counter and bounce spells. But they're letting me draw cards. So this in and of itself is really good for us. So let's play this. Because again, they must not have a counterspell because this isn't great for them. Ooh. I really want to play the broom, but I'm not going to. Yeah, I'm not going to yet. Let's see what they do. Okay, that's fine. Because ideally, now I kind of want to... I don't want to Tempting Witch this until I have the broom out. But I think we need to... Because that takes him to 8. Oh, cancel. No. My turn. Okay, so let's do this. I'm going to attempt to Reeve Soul this guy and see what that does. I'm still shocked they're not doing anything. Alright, well, let's attack with everybody but the witch. We'll just draw a card. I mean, doing 2 damage and drawing a card each turn is not a bad thing. Alright, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see what they do. Worst case scenario, they counter it. Best case scenario, they don't. Okay, there it is. Something had to get it out. And that was it for us. So we shouldn't have cast a spell, because then they're just dead. Where's my... Where's my stops? That's kind of annoying. I mean, not that it matters, because I can't actually kill them, but theoretically, I could have stuff to do. Because I could set a stop on my upkeep before the draw. Oh well. I should have paid closer attention to my how many cards I had left in my deck. And then I may not have cast it, because I kept waiting for that counterspell. And if they don't have the counterspell there, I mean, I guess they could bounce something, I'm assuming. I don't know. We'll have to see. But I'm also going to see if were the stops not there this entire time and I just never noticed? Or was that just a bug in that last game because I was basically dead? Because it's rare on Magic Arena that you really need to set those. But there are definite times that I've needed something in the before draw or, upkeep. Alright, so 2, 3, and 4 drop with 4 lands. Sure. Swear if they go to like Island Secret Keeper, I'm gonna be vaguely tilted. Oh. At least it's not a Secret Keeper. Yay! I'll take it. Yeah, see, look, this is... I wonder if this is something wrong with Arena, or mine just didn't fire properly. Because that's going to get annoying at some point. Sure. I have a feeling they're going to be drawing some cards. Oh. I assumed that they were going to, like, thrill or something. Let's see. So we'll play this. We're not going to offer... There's no trade to offer. Just play a spider so they can't attack in. Nope. Because right now we're still fine. We've got a 4-drop. We've got 2 5-drops waiting for another land. They're in the Trixie colors though. Oh yeah. See, this is the why I don't mind running that 5-drop do 2 damage, or 2-drop do 5 damage to a flyer. Because in things like this, it's going to get annoying real fast. So we'll play the adversary. We're not attacking in. Can't beat anything through. The question will be here in a minute if we want to offer the adversary. Never mind, because he's going to kill the adversary. So this is annoying. Let's see what they do with the... So I think we block with the spider. There's a chance that they cauldron whatever... They cauldron the spider. But that's okay because that means we'll swing in with the adversary and draw a card. This may be a fast game as it is, just based on this happening here. This is a very good combo. Yeah, okay. So trying to beat this is going to be rough. We're going to attack in. This guy's not doing any blocking anytime soon. There. And then I'm going to get the broom out. We kind of want to go as fast as possible here. We're already in trouble. Oof. Yeah, this is gonna hurt real fast, folks. And this guy's gonna get a counter. That can move over. So now we block. We want to keep the spider open as long as possible. But we are in some serious trouble. Okay, so we're going to sack this egg to make him block there. We're going to be able to make another guy. Next. Not attack with a spider. And then we'll make a food. So we're definitely in trouble. I'm not saying this is looking good. But at least we've got a tiny bit of an engine going. I mean, so do they. Their engine is better than ours, don't get me wrong. I'd much prefer to have their engine than our spider broom engine. Ooh. At least the adamant wasn't paid. It's still going to be 9 damage. We have a turn left. I don't think we can do 15 damage in a turn. So what do we have? We have 4 cards in our graveyard. So we could kill the dragon. The problem is the Vandal's already too big. We can go up to 6 with the food, and we're still dead. We can play the witch, go up to 6, and we're still dead. Just out of spite. Yeah, we're dead. Okay. Yeah. There wasn't a way out of that one, unfortunately. Alright, let's take a look at the deck. See what we got going on here. So we talked a second ago about that Fell the Pheasant. That would have definitely saved our butt there if we'd... Granted, we have to draw it. Don't get me wrong. So is there any reason to put the spider or the fell in over what we have currently? As of right now, that 16 land isn't hurting us, knock on wood. And that was the first real match that fell would have been awesome in. The spider's always kind of good. I just really want to stop seeing turn 1 Secret Keepers. Or, sorry. I want to stop seeing turn 1 Island. Go with that. With what we have here, I'm tempted to throw another spider in just because he does so well. But the only thing I'd really take out would be the appetite. And I feel like because our guys are so small, there are going to be times we really need that card. I think there's also an argument for fruit just to draw cards. Because there's been a few times I felt a little stalled. And maybe that is better than appetite. And making sure that we draw. Let's make that change. Yeah, we'll see how it goes in this next game, if that was right or wrong. Like I said, I wasn't super happy with this deck to begin with. Like I said, it's a C minus. Just because it didn't work out like I'd hoped as the draft started off. It kind of fell off the wagon. So we'll see. Alright, we're going to keep this. We can always cast Reeve Soul using the Acolyte if we need to, if we don't draw a swamp. Ideally, our third land will be a swamp, and we'll be good to go. Alright, our opponent mulliganed. I almost forgot to make a food token. Yikes. I said I wanted to stop seeing turn 1. Islands. So many islands. This guy's just better to play than the pair. The pair doesn't actually do anything. Come on. As a 1-3. We just want to... They're playing blue. We need to go faster. I do say, I think blue-black and blue-red are my 2 favorite color combinations to actually play in this format. It just gets boring playing the same ones over and over again. So at least this is blue-black. I don't think we've played that tonight. We're just kind of waiting on them. Alright, 3rd land. Doing a lot of thinking over there. Alright, so the most mana efficient play here would be to play the Acolyte. However, I kind of just want to keep punching in. I don't know what they're doing, but they're taking their sweet time doing it. So I'd rather be the faster deck. And then end the turn. So this is a vague waste of mana. But I'm actually going to Reave Soul, because by doing that, we get in 6 extra damage. And in this type of game, that's pretty big. We're not drawing land, which is bad. We should... Playing the Acolyte may have been kind of important there. Sure. Yay, land. Alright, so we've got 4 mana. We can play the pair into the Broom, which then, if we draw a land next turn, allows us to play Egg into Copy of Broom. Let's start by attacking. That's where we're definitely going to go. The other choice is to play Acolyte and nothing else. Sure. So they're tapped out, so I think it's safer. So you know what? Let's do that. Let's just draw the card now. I'd like to make sure we get our next land. That's not a land. Even if we don't get a land, we can still sack for free to the rider and make another Broom. There goes the lands. Oh. Okay, we wouldn't hit a land for a while. Whew. But more Secret Keepers. Alright. So we've got 4 mana. This ability costs 3. I'd rather play the Acolyte to be able to do more with our turn. When they're tapped out of blue, I know it's going to resolve. I'm less concerned about activating the Broom when there's blue up versus casting a card that I definitely want to see. So many Secret Keepers. The Witch would have been amazing here. Unfortunately, that went away. Okay, so they got a ton of black. Alright, so we've got 5 mana available to us. We're attacking with this guy. Doesn't do anything, but there's a chance it scares them. And again, since they're tapped out of blue right now, I plan on playing the Paladin because they need to deal with this card. As much as I want to go wide with the Broom, I think it's better to play something they have to deal with. They probably have baked in the pie based on their cards, but we gotta do something. Oh my gosh. Alright, down to 14. That guy can't block the secret or the Paladin. Sure. My turn. See, the suit here gets pretty good too. So we're first going to attack in with this guy. We're not going to attack in with anybody else. It's not worth it. So the question is it better to... I'm going to go wider by playing... I'm not super concerned about the Eye Collector right now. Otherwise, I'd play the Spider. Because we have 5 mana and we need to beat them fast, I'm going to play this Shambling Suit. Because being able to play that with the Broom making other friends gets out of hand really quickly. And we just need more threats. Alright, there we go. I will take it. Still makes me think about that forbidden fruit. Foreboding fruit, excuse me. Because in that case, I think I would have liked Appetite or Fell over it. Keep going back and forth. Fell wouldn't have done a whole lot of... Let's put the Appetite back in. We didn't draw it. But again, our guys tend to be so small, I feel like just being able to pump and then it sacrifices a food to trigger another Broom. I don't know. I'm going against Garuk. Alright. This looks pretty good, actually. It's not super powerful or anything, but that rider can do some work. Hey, not turn 1 blue, but a turn 1 ginger brute. The sigh. Let's make some food. It's not having this here is bugging me. Like, more than I expected it to. Alright, what you got? Alright. That's annoying. What that means is I'm actually going to play out... Well... I'm almost tempted to play out a Curious Pair. Because the rider's just going to bite it. Yeah, let's do that. I fully accept the fact that my rider's going to probably bite it, but at least if I do it a little bit later, it eats one of their bigger turns up versus the turn 3, which probably isn't as scary as like... Oh, okay. So now I have a reason to play the rider. Simply because they either cauldron it and get rid of one on the shambling suit, which is fine with me, or they don't and we trade with the shambling suit with the rider. And then I think next turn we're going to play the egg into the pair, just so that we know, gives us a better chance of playing the paladin for 5 on 5. Yeah. That was expected. But now our curious pair can block the shambling suit where before it couldn't. And again, it turned their turn 4 off. At best, they're going to make this guy unblockable, which they do. But I think that saves us a little bit of extra damage. So we'll play this into the golden egg. We probably should have waited to play our land to see if we got a forest. Ooh. It's kind of tempting. But I'm going to play the pair instead. Just because there's a good chance they have removal, and we don't have a way to trigger the broom right now. And we really want to be able to trigger the broom. We haven't actually seen a green creature yet. It's just been artifacts. Green or black creature. Oh, well, there's a green card. Okay. So that's vaguely annoying, but that's okay. I mean, they used a 4-drop removal spell on our curious pair. I'm completely okay with that trade. Alright, I know originally I said I wanted to play the paladin here, and I still kind of do. But the thing is, if I play the broom first... Oh, that's not going to work. Never mind. I'm just sad to be sacrificing the golden egg before the broom is out. But I don't think there's a good way for me to do this. And I'd rather just make the 5/5. We have the Carver, which will help us beat in with this guy. They have 3 cards in hand, so there's a decent chance they have removal. But they already used the out muscle on, like I said, a 2-drop. Ooh, that's annoying. Alright, thankfully we've got some food to sacrifice. Okay, so I think we have a couple different lines here. If we play this guy, we cannot sack a food and make a token this turn. But what I can do is attack in with the 5/5, which they can only block currently with the shambling suit. If they have a land, they're going to play this guy. So I'm going to play this. If we see a land... Ooh. So we have 3 cards in our graveyard. The Acolyte's definitely going away. So the question is, do we leave up Funeral to get rid of something? I think we do. I think it's just important right now. I would prefer to see a land. So they got there, so they can play the tree folk. Yeah. I wish this was the white guy that untaps. That'd be good. Ah, okay. Interesting. So let's think about this for a second. They can activate the 4/4. They've got another 4/4. 7. This is going to give -3. We are on a clock here. Alright. I'm going to attack with the Paladin. Because I'm probably going to want to sacrifice a food here soon. So it makes me want to get the broom on board sooner rather than later. Go ahead. So they've double blocked this way, which means our guy's dead no matter what. But if we Festa Funeral one of them, he kills both, which I think is pretty important. So we're going to do that. As much as I would, and we know they're tapped out, so they don't have any tricks or anything. So it's a 2 for 2. We're still taking 6 over the next 2 turns. Again, I really want this top card to be a land in this case. Because they're probably going to play the Tree Folk. Oh, no, Acolyte. Okay. I guess they keep wanting making sure they can punch in for once. That means they don't have a land in hand. Or punch in for 3. Pay 1 to punch in. Okay, good. It's a land. We are not dead. Let's make sure I do math right. So that's 5, 6, 7, and we have 7. So I'm going to swing in with this guy. Excuse me. I mean, they very well might just chump block with a 1/1. Oh, they're going to take it. Okay. Alright, so now we play the broom. And then we have the ability to go up to 8 and make another broom. So we're going to do that. Excuse me for a second here. Alright, so it's still got 2 cards we don't know in hand. Oh, okay. Yeah, we're okay with that. As much as it makes me sad to lose him, that's okay. Oops. Yep. I still have 2 mana available, so whatever this card is, it could be 2. Got it. Hey, look, this is... Has something changed on Arena and I just didn't notice? Yep, we're not dead yet. Alright, so do this. Make a broom. Okay. So this is 6, 8. So we're only going to attack in with the beast. Sorry, cat. That should be a beast. That's okay. And then, depending on, they'll probably chump block. We'll be able to play our land and make 2 more brooms and gain 2 life. Ooh, don't end turn. We're still kind of on the back foot here. This Ginger Brute's doing work. This would be a great time to see Reeve Soul. See, in this case, I wish we had our forbidden fruit. Yep. So they still have 6 mana available to cast the Tree Folk. And I don't know that we can go wide enough, fast enough. We need another food source. Could really use the witch here. Auto pay. Yep, auto pay. All right. So they have 2 blockers. So block this and this. 2, 4, 6. It takes them to 4. Unfortunately, that leaves us dead on the swing back. So... we could 1, 2, 3, 4 take them down to 6. So we have an option to swing in with just the brooms. We lose 2. They lose 1 blocker. They go down to 6. We still have guys to make, if we get other food, we have blockers so we're not dead. I'm trying to decide if we want to swing in with the Prophet or not, basically. Because now we kind of make them block. You can also swing with everybody but the Curious Pair, although if they have removal, we're dead. They take 6 and go to 4. But we have... oh, this is tough. Well, we know they have cards in their hand. I think we have to do it this way. We're going to lose our 2... I mean, theoretically, if they block how I expect them to. They'll block the Prophet. Oh, wait. If they don't block the Prophet with the Tree Folk, I think we're just dead. Yeah, okay. Yeah, we're just dead, because now we can... that is assuming that they go super aggressive, swing with everybody, making the one guy unblockable. Because then we can only block the Tree Folk. But they're hoping that we don't have anything in hand, which they're right. Yeah, we screwed up. Because if we had baked into pie here, they would just be dead. But instead, we're dead. Yeah, that was a mistake. I was hoping that they'd trade, but we were too far behind. Yeah. Oh well. Like I said, the deck was a C-. 3 and 3 with a C- deck. I'm not too heartbroken about. It's still... I'm not sure on the fruit versus insatiable appetite versus fell. I mean, it's a really minor discussion, but I think it's interesting. Depending on what the deck needs. Like, very rarely we're going to be able to make food with it because we had so few black sources in our deck. But overall, I think we could have gone a little bit heavier on the broom, but we kind of jumped into that so late. It was really hard to pick up on it more. I think the wrong choice was the Gargoyle over the Sir Conrad in the initial picks. Sir Conrad is such a beast. It makes our other guys dying okay. And since we didn't have really serious threats, having 1 or 2 of those would have been insane. Because our deck was pretty light on dudes that did things. But the brooms got there every once in a while. So I think that'd be interesting to try to draft a more focused deck around, early pack 1. And I'm really tired of Secret Keeper in Arena. But that's just me. I think drafting Throne is pretty interesting. There are some really great archetypes. But War of the Spark still holds a little a little space in my heart for the crazy Planeswalker stuff that happened. So that's it for tonight. We'll check next week, try to do a little bit more Draft of the Throne. I'm a little sad we only cast the Henge like one time. We didn't see it much, but it's still a great card. It's very powerful. But overall, it was a great night. I hope you guys will join me next week at about 7:30, and we can draft again.